know who you can call and know who you should not call. I mean, that's a double-sided sword, right? You need to know both.
Rachel, you mentioned that the first time you started to feel really low was during right after the birth of your first son, and that it was a postpartum thing. And I think there are so many things that can lead to depression, postpartum for sure, and especially in these years where homeschool moms are having babies and they're trying to deal with other children at the same time, and you're trying to juggle all the things, and so you take those postpartum hormones and you put all the other pressures of life and motherhood and homeschooling on top of them. And it just gets to the point where you feel like you can't move, like what you said, you can't do anything. You can't take another step forward. Another time in life would be menopause, which I call mental pause. But menopause, homeschool moms, it's funny because we're on both ends of the spectrum. You've got those who are having the babies and they deal with the postpartum. And then you've got those who are maybe going into their 50s and they've got older kids and they might be dealing with menopause. And it doesn't even have to be one of those things. It can just simply be thyroid or your hormones, which of course is thyroid too. Your hormones are just out of whack, or maybe you're just going through a really, really difficult time in your life. You could be going through the death of a family member or through a divorce or through a financial difficulty. I mean, there's so many things that can lead us to feeling this way. And one of the pieces of scripture that has been hugely, hugely instrumental in my life, and this has been over the past many, many years, is Psalm 20. And I'm going to read part of this. And I think I've probably read this on the podcast a few times, but I think it's so relevant to this. And it's Psalm 20 says this. It says, "May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May he send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and regard with favor your burnt sacrifices. May he grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans. May we shout for joy over your salvation, and in the name of God set up our banners. May the Lord fulfill all your petitions. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. He will answer him from his holy heaven with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand upright. O Lord, save the King. May he answer us when we call." And I think this is so relevant to what we're dealing with, because we really need to call on the Lord. And I don't say that flippantly. I don't say that like, well, just call on the Lord, just pray and everything will be fine and dandy. There will be no struggles in your life. How have you, and Rachel, I love that you talked about calling out to your friend. You had your daughter call your friend who came alongside you and really helped you navigate through this difficult time. Talk on that just a little bit more about what some things, and I've got some points as well that I want to share, but what are some things that we can do besides just saying to these moms, just trust the Lord, just trust the Lord. It's fine. All you got to do is just trust the Lord. I mean, there's so much more to it than that. And yes, that's the basis of it. But what are some other things that we can do truly to help navigate through this really difficult time?
Yeah. I think one, if you're not there, know that you could be, right? I think that is huge.
Yes.
This anxiety and depression are equal opportunity hijackers of your life. I mean, I felt broadsided. I did not see it coming at all. And I think most of us that find ourselves in a state of depression, whether it's all the way at clinical level, meaning it is incapacitating you from functioning normally, or if it's anxiety, it can hit any of us. So I just think the humility to realize that it could be you is a really good thing. And being aware of what the markers are so that you can know. And that's not just for you, it's for someone you love, right?
Yeah.
You can see a friend, because we're all called to community, and you can see somebody else kind of like going down a path so that you can identify it and be there for them. So I think that's a huge thing, is to have the humility to know that it could be you and to know what the markers are. And I believe that I'm not saying, and there are those that would say that what you said earlier, which I really think is short-sighted. And if you know me at all, you know how much I love Jesus, and you know how much I love his word, and you know how much I love the hymns. But I also am smart enough to know that there are physiological and chemical issues in our bodies that need attention. So I do believe that you need to immerse yourself in the truth of God and his word and in scripture and in hymns. I mean, you need to do that because that is the truth. I'm very grateful for my friends. I had one friend that wrote a bunch of my favorite verses on 3x5 cards. And she just put them in the mail to me. And she said, I just want to since I can't come and see you, can just hang these on the walls that you see every day. And I'm just going to pray. I've got the same set of cards. It still is so touching to me that she did this. I've got the same set of cards, and I'm going to pray through them every day that God's Spirit meets you when you face these scriptures. That's a little thing that was huge, because when I would see those cards hung up in my house, I would think of my friend and that she was praying for me, because sometimes you can be in a place you can't even pray for you. I mean, you can be so down or so distressed that you can't even pray for yourself, but to know that someone else is praying for you is huge. So I think being honest about it, honest that it could be you, honest that it is you, and then honest with other people. I think that's huge. Having some people that you can call and know who you can call and know who you should not call. I mean, that's a double-sided sword, right? You need to know both.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.